I'm Curlin Brown. Let's continue to inspire Jamaica. And of course, where else will you see it? CVM TV, of course.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, I did it. Former Member of Parliament Julian Silvera pleads guilty to manslaughter in wife's death. Shake-up in leadership. Leadership changes at CTOC following cocaine find. Cold runnings, chilly temperatures to continue into midweek as cold front lingers. Later in Small Biz, big dreams styled for success. The stories of a St. Andrew barber and hairdresser. And in sports, whisper to Leicester. Jamaican starlet to get first team football following loan move. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Monday, February 2, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. Former St. Mary Western Member of Parliament Julian Silvera has reportedly pleaded guilty to manslaughter in relation to the 2023 shooting death of his wife Melissa, a land developer. The incident unfolded at the couple's St. Andrew residence on November 10. Silvera, who has been in custody since January 2024, had initially suggested his wife died of natural causes, but an autopsy weeks later revealed she died of gunshot wounds. Bullet fragments were reportedly found inside her body. The couple tied the knot in 2015 and their marriage yielded 4 children. Silvera is represented by King's Counsel Peter Champagny and attorney Patrice Riley. Meanwhile, the Crown is represented by prosecutors Dwayne Green and Latoya Bernard. As the matter is being heard in camera, the prosecution has refrained from commentary, reminding that the case has not yet been concluded. It's also unclear whether the prosecution will accept the guilty plea. Efforts to get a comment from Silvera's defense team proved futile, but we'll continue to track this developing story. In the meantime, CVM News spoke to senior defense lawyer Bert Samuels for a breakdown of what this typically means for sentencing, trial, and on what grounds such pleas are usually sought. We remind that Samuels is not the attorney handling the matter, nor does he speak directly to the specific case. Bargain was sought ahead of a prominent figure heading to the gun court for trial on murder charges for his wife. However, instead of murder, the politician pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter, leaving many to wonder why and on what basis. Senior defense attorney Bert Samuels says there are many conditions under which a plea bargain can be sought in certain cases, stressing he's not familiar with the details of the specific matter and is speaking only in generalities.
Yeah, very often the lawyer for the accused will make a representation to the DPP and say, listen, we are prepared to do a plea bargaining here. My instructions are that the person acted when they lost their control of themselves, and therefore we're asking whether you would be prepared to accept a manslaughter plea rather than a plea to murder. So that the DPP must sign off on that, must agree that they will, consider and accept the guilty plea.
He notes provocation as one of the grounds on which some accused argue for manslaughter versus murder charges, which could ultimately result in lesser sentencing if accepted. It could also mean rather than a trial, the option exists for a formal verdict to be handed down and mitigation pleas made by the defense to seek reduced sentences.
Case of murder can be reduced to manslaughter as an alternative to murder on certain bases. The best known example is where a person admits to taking the life of another, but they were suffering from provocation. That is, you lost self-control, and it was in circumstances where you were warranted to lose your self-control that the incident happened. So that some examples may be where a person comes and finds a person in the act of adultery, or it may be a person who has used profanity, speaking about your family, or using words or actions which cause you to lose your self-control.
Samuels explains it's within the DPP's remit to accept a lesser charge while citing several benefits for both parties and the justice system.
It is within the remit and the wisdom of the DPP to accept a lesser charge, a plea to a lesser charge. What it does, it shortens the time that the court would be spending on a trial. And a trial like, the one before the court could have lasted 2 or 3 weeks. So the saving of time, it also encourages persons to throw in the towel, and it augurs well for, lessening the burden, the court case load, the case load of the court. So sometimes it's a win-win situation, and sometimes there are family members who cannot go through the agony of a trial to hear the evidence being repeated. So sometimes it is a win-win.
In the case now being keenly watched involving a politician, he reminds once it approaches sentencing, the courts will also consider the time spent in remand awaiting trial. Of note, Silvera has been in custody since 2024 January. That's just around 2 years so far. Well-placed law enforcement sources have confirmed major leadership shakeup at the JCF's Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch, CTOC. The changes follow a major drug seizure at a storage facility at CTOC 2 weeks ago, an operation that led to the removal of the Firearm and Narcotics Investigations Division, FNID, from the command of CTOC. As part of the changes, Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Anthony McLaughlin has been reassigned from CTOC and will now head the Forensic Services Branch. He will be replaced by Senior Superintendent Christopher Brown, who has been appointed the new head of CTOC. In addition, Superintendent Victor Barrett has been transferred from CTOC to the Crime and Security Portfolio. Speaking recently on Lead Story against the backdrop of FNID's removal from CTOC, security consultant Robert Finzi-Smith said CTOC's operations may have been crippled following the drug bust.
Look at what the original mandate for CTOC was. And when you remove a linchpin of that mandate, who do they report to?
So functionally speaking then, this is not the removal of a finger, but the removal of perhaps half the body?
Yes. You may have done not so much as you may have done an amputation.
Does that not then mean that FNID, who would carry out the organization, would need to be operationally distinct from CTOC?
Exactly, but there's another thing I haven't heard anybody mention. Are there any ongoing cases that were brought and are being prosecuted through CTOC? What does that mean for the defendants?
Oh, so the functional issues then are the ones that you say out of this, especially the internal oversight mechanism part and talking about what the Jamaica Constabulary Force has done. It now has implications for these cases that CTOC is carrying. How so?
If I were a lawyer and you brought my clients to court, the first thing I have to do is question the veracity of the officers who have brought this case. And if the officers are on the investigation, how are they now going to contribute to the prosecution of any case?
The St. Mary police have captured a man wanted for murder in the Kingston East Division during an early morning operation on Monday. Acting on intelligence, members of the St. Mary Division conducted a series of targeted raids in Islington. During the operation, Karen Bailey, also known as Bones, a 32-year-old office administrator of Ligony Kingston 6 and a resident of Islington St. Mary, was apprehended. Investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, investigators in St. Catherine have charged 44-year-old teacher Joel Ellis with possession of prohibited weapon, dealing in prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and assault at common law. The charges stem from an assault and eventual seizure of 2 firearms and several rounds of ammunition at his home in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine last Wednesday. Reports from the Greater Portmore Police are that at about 6:50 a.m., Ellis brandished a firearm, pointed it at a woman with whom he had an argument, and tapped her in the face. A report was made to the police, and later the same day, a team carried out an operation at his address. During a search of the premises, a Smith Wesson .38 revolver loaded with 2.38 cartridges were found in a black bag beneath his bed. A further search of the bedroom led to the discovery of an imitation Glock firearm loaded with 5 imitation 9mm cartridges in a carton box. They were seized and Ellis was taken into custody, where he was charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. A court date is being finalized. It feels more like winter than the tropics as Jamaicans bundle up against unusually cold temperatures and strong winds sweeping the island. Forecasters say the cold front, fueled by frigid air from North America, is responsible for the drastic shift in weather conditions. As Akeem Aret now reports, AI-generated images are being circulated by users online to indicate just how cold some people feel.
These images circulating on social media show the extent of the cold being felt across Jamaica, with residents layering up and strong winds battering exposed areas. Forecasters say these conditions are expected to persist island-wide through Tuesday, with near gale force winds affecting northern and southwestern parishes as well as hilly areas. Meteorologist Javoy Sawyers notes this mass of cold air originated from northern Canada.
The cold front is the boundary between the cold air and our regular tropical air, and that boundary is now positioned just across the eastern Caribbean in a stationary front. But behind the cold front, where we are, we're experiencing cooler temperatures as much as 8 degrees below normal, and strong gusty winds accompanied by some cloudy conditions and light showers.
With wind speeds reaching up to 40 miles per hour, temperatures have plunged to as low as 14 degrees Celsius in Mandeville, 20 degrees in Montego Bay, and 18 degrees in Kingston. Sawyers says the cold and windy conditions are expected to continue into midweek.
The hilly interior areas, though, northern parishes expecting showers, light showers, intermittent showers to continue even after the cold front has dissipated and temperatures warm up, expecting showers to continue across northern parishes in the afternoon on Wednesday, Thursday, and second cold front, though not as strong, to move into our area again closer to the weekend to influence rainfall activity and slightly cooler conditions, but not as cool as now.
The severe weather has also caused damage in some areas, with reports of fallen trees and disruptions due to the strong winds.
So we've had reports of downed trees, especially in Red Hills area. I'm seeing Westmoreland as well, and across the mainly northern parishes, with the gusty winds, like I said, forcing through the gaps and the valleys in these hilly areas, which causes the wind speed to increase.
Weather officials are urging the public to remain cautious and to take the necessary steps to stay safe during this period of unusually cold weather.
With the strong winds, expecting trees and limbs to be impacted. So look out for those, especially the roadways where it meanders through hilly areas, expecting you may buck up on trees, branches in roadways. Also, the coastal areas of the northern sections of the island and the western section of the island, as we're having stronger winds and rough seas, we're expecting those waves and swells to come up on those roadways that are closer to the seaside.
Reporting for CVM News, I'm Akim Art.
Meanwhile, the cold front has forced the closure of fishing villages across western Jamaica, leaving many fisherfolk facing losses in both equipment and income. Carla Ramdeen reports.
CVM News visited several fishing communities in western Jamaica, where beaches were deserted and fishing vessels, fish pots, and nets were removed from the water. Communities in western Jamaica, where beaches were deserted and fishing vessels, fish pots, and nets were removed from the water due to rough seas and strong winds caused by the cold front.
And it's like, boy, I had this for that so long, I have to stick for put a drop everything out of water and secure, boy. You know, we survive with the pack them shit, but I use now the weather like this. This weather really hard for a long time and they keep up. Chairman of the Montego Bay Fishermen's Cooperative Society, Richard Bowen, explained that the cold front has once again forced fishermen across western Jamaica off the waters, months after Hurricane Melissa. Mr. Bowen noted that many are still recovering from the storm, which damaged the boats and disrupted fishing operations along the coast. With this cold front and the weather, all fisher folks has to pull up their boat, nobody visit the sea. So that's taken away from their livelihood. In the community in general that relies on the fishermen to give them fresh catches from the sea, they are deprived of that now. So, you know, more than likely, people more have to eat the ice fish. But other than that, as I say, water sports and all the other stuff around here has come to a seizure. So we have to just lay back. So economically, it's a big thing for the fisher folks and fishermen in general.
One fisherman of the Hopewell Fishing Beach in Westmoreland, Thomas Anderson, told CVM News that the prolonged closure has prevented fishermen from going to sea for days, cutting off their primary source of income.
We have to save now and get some fish on Saturday, so we just have to save so we can survive. We have to survive.
Mr. Anderson added that several fishermen were unable to retrieve their fish pots before conditions deteriorated, raising concerns that some equipment may be damaged or lost due to the rough seas.
Boy, this every day I broke them up, you know. Broke up everything, you know. Twist them up. Yeah, man, because the sea the road harder and I see better, so twist them up. Twist them up, really.
Despite the challenges, Mr. Bowen remains hopeful, saying cold fronts often bring an increase in fish once the weather settles.
There's a good side to it too, where when the weather coming here, you have to be hopeful that it brings in a lot of fish after it subsides, bring them over this side. So that's a good thing to look forward to. Right now, we are looking at about 4 days, 3 to 4 days according to the weather conditions. So, and for fisher folks, even though it might die down, it might take us a little bit longer for the sea itself to get back to its position, even when land-wise it calms down.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
We take a break. Stay with us.
Chicken, mega deal, super chicken, mega deal.
The KFC value menu has you thinking chicken. Get the famous bowl combo for just $640. KFC.
The National Rural School Bus Program is getting smarter. With your child's student ID card, parents receive real-time notifications every time they board or exit the bus. Each card is unique and securely linked to the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information database. Tap on, tap off, and parents stay updated instantly. So, how do you register? Number 1, visit jamaica-district.myschools.gov mysmartterm.com/bus-portal/registration. Number 2, enter your child's details. Number 3, upload supporting documents. Number 4, submit your application. It's that easy. Safer, smarter, more secure. Register today and ride with peace of mind.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jody Ann Quarry.
Brought to you by Horizon, a new loan product from Access Financial Services.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Still in the local segment, Jamaica has recorded its lowest number of murders for the month of January in more than 4 decades, signaling what officials describe as continued progress in national public safety. The government says the decline reflects sustained crime-fighting efforts throughout 2025 and into the new year. Akeem Art reports.
January 2026 has been marked as an historic month for crime reduction in Jamaica, with police statistics showing just 33 murders across the island, the lowest January figure in 40 years. The 55% reduction compared to January 2025 comes on the heels of more than 40% reduction in murders in 2025. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has commended the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF, attributing the achievement to sustained intelligence-led policing bolstered by strategic investments and policy direction from the ministry. In the meantime, State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Abka Fitzhenley, says the figures represent a strong and encouraging start of 2026.
From the point of view of the government of Jamaica, we continue to extend efforts, intensify efforts to give further support to the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the security forces overall in terms of legislation, investment, and general policy making. We are bullish that Jamaica must become a country where murders or the commission of a murder is an abnormal activity, and that's our ultimate goal.
Despite the encouraging figures, Senator Fitzhenley cautions that continued vigilance and a sustained effort will be required to preserve the gains.
And no doubt the 4 murders committed in Manchester over the weekend present a strong indicator that there are gunmen who are prepared to take on the Jamaican citizenry and snuff out Jamaican lives. They indicate that there is a long way to go in the fight to bring violent crime to a heel in Jamaica, and therefore it's important that as many stakeholders as possible give support to lawful efforts to eliminate violent crime in Jamaica.
Akeem Art, CVM News.
And 3 deaths in 2 separate motor vehicle crashes on the first day of February is once again reigniting road safety concerns. The deaths recorded in Trelawney and St. Catherine have renewed concerns about driver behavior and enforcement as the country grapples with another spike in fatal collisions. Kevin Black has more.
Concern is growing over the number of fatal road crashes since the start of the year, following 3 more deaths on Sunday. According to Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, the deaths recorded in Trelawney and St. Catherine represent a troubling start to February.
Well, just when we were celebrating the fact that 21 persons died in the month of January compared to 29 last year and 34 last year, then we got this body blow that 3 persons died on the first day of February. 2 in Trelawney and 1 in St. Catherine. We need to get people to realize that the roads in Jamaica are dangerous roads because people are driving carelessly. They are speeding excessively. They are drinking and driving. They are smoking ganja and driving. They're not buckling up in the front seats and in the back seats. And they are using their cell phones and driving.
Police data indicates 25 people have died on the nation's roads up to February 1st. This is fewer than the 29 up to the same period in 2025. Dr. Jones says the absence of a functional demerits point system continues to undermine road safety efforts. He highlights, Such a system would allow authorities to track repeat offenders, impose penalties, and ultimately remove dangerous drivers from the roads.
It's a system which is part of the new Road Traffic Act. If you continue to break the speed limit, if you continue to break the red light and you attract the red points, then you can have your license suspended. We can remove the errant drivers from off the roads. It's not the only thing that we need to do, but it's one of the most important things that we need to do. If we can get people to drive slower, just 5% slower, you can have a 30% reduction in the number of fatalities, and that's huge.
Dr. Jones says existing statistics point to the need for a broader, safe systems approach, addressing speed, road conditions, and motorist behavior.
Last year, 374 persons died compared to 365 the year before, and in 2023 it was 425. Safe road users, you cannot be on a motorcycle and not wearing a certified helmet. If you crash and you hit your head, you will die. You cannot be in a car and not buckled up. If you crash and the car comes to a stop instantly, those in the rear seat will be thrown forward into the windshield.
Kevin Black for CVM News.
Meanwhile, there is a call for those in the local music industry to make meaningful investments in themselves while using their God-given gifts. A call also on the day activities officially got underway for Reggae Month for musicians to not only have a desire to gain the whole world, eager to store up worldly treasures, but to think on the day of reckoning.
Reggae is ingrained in the Jamaican culture. Some are celebrating this year's Reggae Month under the theme, Come Catch the Rhythm.
Reggae has never just been music for entertainment. Reggae has always been about message, mission, and ministry. Jamaica may be small in size, but through reggae, we have spoken to the world with a voice that is unmistakable. From Trenchtown to Tokyo, when the rhythm drops, people know exactly where it comes from. The birthplace of legends, Jamaica.
But it is hoped that those celebrating won't miss the bigger picture, that through the making of music, many are crying out for help. And as answers are sought, may messengers of truth and agents of change provide meaningful answers in a time of hopelessness and despair.
The Psalms remind us that praise has always had rhythm, that God has long called his people to sing, to dance, to lift their voices, and to make melody in their hearts. But this theme is more than an invitation to dance. It is a call to listen, to catch the heartbeat of the people, to hear the struggles of the marginalized, the hopes of the youth, the passion of lovers, and the unwavering, better must come faith that has always carried us through.
A pastor's message and a culture minister taking to the podium reflecting on the many pioneers of reggae who passed through this life and left a mark with their God-given gift.
It's good to say you have gift, but with gift come responsibility of what you do with that gift. Because when God gives you a gift, he doesn't give you a gift for you. He gives you a gift for you to use to be a blessing to others.
I want to note the sad passing of Jimmy Cliff, then Cat Core, then Sly Dunbar. And last night, I was told of the passing of Super D. It is a sad time for us as we celebrate our music.
As they left their mark on the industry, their time on earth is past. The encouragement is for those behind to set their house in order before it's too late.
I want to use the opportunity to remind all those who are present, however, that you should come and sign up for the health insurance and the life insurance at the ministry. It is important.
So the question is, will they seek out and sign up for the best life insurance available? And will they take heed while the blood runs warm in their bodies? the message that it's all in our hands. Take charge.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. It calls on all of us to stand firm, to love boldly, and to walk humbly with our God.
This message, unity over division, hope over despair, and love over fear. The call to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery as none but ourselves can free our mind. For CVM News, I'm Damon Phillips.
And there's more news to come on the other side of this break.
Value menu has you thinking chicken. Get the famous combo for just $640.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
It's 8 a.m. and Mr. Thompson can't find chalk. Or his dignity. His white squalor. Meanwhile, on site, error. A mash-up concrete. Or so it seems. Wait, I can't embellish that. It's almost that time for Ashley's belly to plop out. Don't get creative with your hunger. Solve it with mothers.
Mommy, ice cream.
Even the little ones get hungry too. Mothers, all day delicious. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Thanks so much for staying with us. On this week's Small Biz Big Dreams, a barber and a hairstylist show how grooming skills can turn into a long-standing business. Our reporter Kevin Black has their story.
Tonight, on Small Biz Big Dreams, we meet two professionals who have turned a shared space into a lasting business built on skill, consistency, and community. This is Small Biz Big Dreams. For more than 3 decades, barber O'Neill Pony Williams and hairstylist Desreen Walker Cochrane have dedicated themselves to serving generations of clients. They say what began simply as a skill has grown into a true vocation, one rooted in discipline, trust, and consistent hard work.
I started off barbering like on a veranda. My mommy house, up on the veranda we start the barbering, do the barbering thing until I said, no man, we need a shop now because I start get a whole heap of customer. I teach a lot of my youth to trim, you know, them progressive and them reach for them want to reach. And I still do the same thing same way for over 30 years now. Yeah, the barbering. Yeah man, and see it, I'm still doing it.
Actually I grew up plaiting dolly here. And from doing that strong and everything I could get to plait, then I started doing real, practice on human. So that's where I started. And then I went to Leon's School of Beauty. And that's where I got my diploma in hairdressing.
For both Pony and Desreen, their craft is more than a service. It's a daily commitment. They say many of their clients have been with them for years, some for most of their lives.
Some of the guys, they never really trust me that much for me to really cut their hair. But after cutting like one of my school friend here, and them say yes, you can do it, So that was then, the start. Some people start put some trust in me and say, then make me cut them here.
And that's how I start cut them here until now. I'm still do it same way. Yeah, man. I have some customer right now, I trim from me a little baby boy. From me about 14 when I just start out the barbering. Yeah, man, I still trim them same way.
From school days, I know this is what I'm gonna do. You know, because within me, this is what I really like to do. So I started doing it from then.
Together, they offer a range of barbering and hairstyling services, from haircuts and lineups to braiding, all in one space.
You can get your hair shampoo. You can get a nice lineup. You know, the hairdresser is here too. You can get your facial done, your nails done, all those stuff. So the service is real good.
Cornrows, cutting, styling, crochet, weaving, just about everything.
Their message to anyone coming into the industry is simple. Master your craft, stay consistent, and respect your clients.
Believe in yourself. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and push forward. And by practicing, you're going to make mistakes along the way. Believe in yourself and have confidence and move forward. Believe in your dreams and trust God.
If you like the barbering, do it because it pays and it's a good thing. You understand? Yeah, that's something you can rely on because people are going to always want to cut them here. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a real good thing. Trust me. If you want to find a barbershop, you have to come to Mount Togo, right at the square Mount Togo. That's where my barbershop is. And it's Honduras Barber. Yeah. And once you come Mount Togo, you say, we're Pony Barbershop there, you will find it.
Next week, we'll provide another highlight that will make an entrepreneur's night right. Until then, for Small Biz, Big Dreams, I'm Kevin Black.
It's now time for regional and international news.
We begin with regional news. Trinidad and Tobago is moving full steam ahead toward the integration of traditional medicines in the public health sector. Minister in the Health Ministry, Dr. Rashad Sisharan, says the government is making moves to develop legislation to see this integration come to fruition. We hear more from TTT Live.
The thrust of the World Health Organization is to incorporate traditional medicines from around the world into the public health care sector. The idea being is to reduce the need for so many of the pharmaceuticals that many national public health care sectors rely upon.
Trinidad and Tobago's traditional medicine or bush medicine practices are deeply rooted from our African, Indian and Amerindian backgrounds.
Further afield, Russia resumed attacks on Ukraine on Sunday after agreeing not to target population centers and energy infrastructure during a cold snap that has gripped the country. 4 people were killed overnight in the central Chikasi region. BBC News has the details.
After Russia launched a massive bombardment overnight. It comes after Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky denounced Sunday's deadly attack on a bus carrying minors as a telling crime. He said it showed that Russia bore responsibility for an escalation. 12 people were killed and at least 16 others injured in the attack on the bus in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Ukrainian officials say it was targeted with drones. President Zelensky has announced a new round of US-brokered talks between Ukraine and Russia that will take place in Abu Dhabi. They start on Wednesday. They'll last for 2 days.
Meanwhile, the fight between Sudan's military and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF,